guys, it's Anissa. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I did another review for you guys on a super brand spanking new product that I am so excited to test out with you guys. I'm going to be testing out these new Fenty Beauty Bright Fix Eye Brighteners. If you guys have never watched any of my reviews, what I like to do for most products, if not all of them, I will always test them for at least 3 days. I'll switch up a couple products, that way I can see, because sometimes products only like certain products, and I don't want to say that I don't like a product just because of the way that it works based with one product. Keep in mind, I'll always tell you guys, I love doing full face of first impressions because they're just fun and it's the easiest way for me to do super quick, rapid reviews for you guys. If you guys are interested to hear my thoughts on this product, then make sure to keep on watching. But before you go any further, please make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. I post on this channel every 4 days, so you never have to miss me for too long. But yeah, let's just go ahead and get into it. Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, whenever you are watching this. Welcome to day one. I am super excited. I just washed my face, just did my hair. Like, I am ready to take on today. It's my last day of high school. My spirits are just really high today. Like, new chapters, new beginning. For today, I'm just gonna show you guys my complexion, and then I'm gonna do my like lips and my eyes off camera. And then tomorrow, I'm not sure. I'll probably just do like concealer, the brightener, and then powder. That way it doesn't get super repetitive, but I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys what I'm using today. To start off with primer, I'm going to be combining this NYX Pore Filler with this Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. I have been loving to pair this moisturizing primer with like a more mattifying primer or a more pore filling primer. I've been using a new skincare product and it's kind of been not drying my face out, but making my face a little bit more dry than what it usually is. I think people think that if you have oily skin, like you don't have to put on hydrating products. And it just seems like my face is getting worse and worse. All my little spots, you guys will be able to see when I zoom in. So that's really why I haven't been wearing a whole lot of makeup, is I just need to give it up. Like, I really do. This is gone. And I like that one because not only does it fill in my pores, but it also mattifies. It took away a lot of the shine. I'm also just gonna throw on a little bit of BURT'S chapstick. This is a newer step I'm doing. I am gonna go ahead and set my primer using this AIRSPUN loose face powder. I have found that when I do this, no matter what makeup I'm wearing, it really doesn't matter what powder you're using. It's just gonna help your makeup stay in place. And also, if you have oily skin, it kind of gives your oils another barrier to break through before they start disturbing your makeup. And I think that's why my makeup does tend to last so long. For foundation, I'm gonna be using this Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Soft Matte Longwear Foundation, and I'm in the color 420. I think tomorrow I'm gonna use the hydrating version of this. In my natural lighting makeup video, I was talking about how, you know, I'll always love full beat glam and I'm never gonna like, you know, like a softer, more natural, lightweight glam. And funny enough, for every day, I have found that I like doing something a little bit lighter because it's quicker and I get up really early in the morning. So although I still do love full beat, I don't necessarily always have time to sit down and do that full beat. So that's why I think I wasn't wearing makeup every day and didn't want to wear makeup every day, because honestly, I love sitting down and doing my makeup, but I go to work at 6 a.m. What I'm concerned about is getting a good amount of sleep, but also looking decent. I've just been doing a little less foundation than usual, and I found that I like the way that it looks just for every day a little bit more. And for work, I feel like it's a little bit more realistic. But I just want to clarify, the full beat is not going anywhere, y'all. Now time to get into the star of the show. Today, I'm going to be testing these Fenty Beauty Bright Fix Eye Brighteners. I went ahead and got 2 colors. I really wasn't sure which one I needed, so I got the color Honey 10 and Almond Butter 12. I wasn't sure how light I would want them or what I would like the most. You know how cream blushes kind of like were the thing in the hot stuff 6 months ago? Okay, I think eye brighteners are kind of taking their place. I'm gonna go ahead and read the instructions because I'm not sure if I'm supposed to use this on its own or if I'm supposed to use it on top of a concealer, or if I could do both. If I counted correctly, I think that they come in 20 shades and they retail for $25. In my opinion, 20 shades is a little bit small, but I don't think that's a bad thing because I think these eye brighteners are meant to be like one can cover a lot of shade ranges. It is an eye brightener that hydrates, brightens, and conceals with sheer to buildable coverage, delivering a no makeup effect in Longwear formula. I don't know if it claims to wear for 8 hours, but they have a statistic on here that says after 8 hours, 97% agree their under eye did not feel dry. And it says after 8 hours, 90% would recommend Bright Fix Eye Brightener to a friend. I will be wearing it for about 8 hours today. Apply a small amount and tap to blend. Buildable and easy to layer with your skincare can also be layered with Pro Filter Concealer. Works well with fingers, brush, or sponge. It looks like you have the option to where you can do it with concealer or without concealer. So I'm wondering if I would look like super crazy. I was gonna do one eye with it and one eye without it. I'm gonna do it with the concealer and the eye brightener together. I'm gonna be able to tell how much the concealer actually helps it. Luckily, I do have the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Concealer, and I have the shade 360. I actually have been really liking this recently. I really used to not grab for it a whole bunch because I used to think that it was really, really drying. And it's not that it's drying, it's just very matte. It's all about in the products that you pair it with. So you know what? I bet that this eye brightener, if it's as hydrating as it says it is, I bet that it will pair really well with this. In my last review, which was the Tarte Shape Tape, the creamy versus the original, I kind of told you guys that I really discovered that you do need something that is pretty close to your skin tone or has an undertone in it that is going to correct those blue undertones that give you the darkness under your eyes because of the veins underneath your eyes. So I'm really curious to see if these eye brighteners kind of just make me look like a raccoon, or if they actually can correct, conceal, and brighten, and to see how much coverage they have on their own. I'm not gonna build it up today because I do already have product underneath my eyes, but when we use it on its own tomorrow, we'll definitely try to build it up, but I don't want to put a whole bunch of product underneath my eyes because I don't want it to look super cakey. Personally, I prefer to blend my concealer out with a sponge, and then I'll go in with a tinier brush and go right underneath my eyes to really help blend out the product. That way it doesn't crease or anything like that. To see that kind of corrected, but it also did give me a little bit of brightness, not a whole bunch. Let me know if you guys have drier skin types and if you like this concealer. I'm really not sure which one I'm gonna use. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch both of them on my little mixing plate here because I really don't think that I need anything super bright. This applicator is actually pretty interesting. So it has like a bulb type of end on it. I don't know if they want you to apply it directly underneath your eye. I'm not gonna do that. I went ahead and swatched them on my mixing plate. The lighter one right here is Honey 10, and then this one over here is Almond 12. I feel like Almond is a little too close to my actual shade, and I feel like Honey is a little bit too light, but I'm gonna go ahead, I'll apply it. I'm gonna use Honey today, and then if I feel like Honey is too light, then I will mix the two, but I really was hoping that I would not have to mix them and like both of them. That way I could return one. It does have a pretty big jump in color. I don't know if they intended for it to be like that. I'm gonna use the end of my sponge. Now, granted, with a sponge, you are gonna get a little bit less coverage than what you would with a brush. It's really not mixing well with this concealer, like right in here. Do you see what I mean? Like that big splotch right there. That is not normal. That's a little bit concerning because I really don't want to set it if that's how it looks. If you set something and you know it's not working before you set it, you can't expect your powder to fix all your problems. Maybe the Fenty Beauty Concealer is just too drying for it to blend with. I don't like the way that is looking. It's hanging on so weird right in here, over here. I'm gonna apply a different concealer to see if it's just the concealer or if it's the eye brightener. If it still looks weird, it possibly could be the sponge, so I'll go ahead and use the brush. I'm just putting a little bit of foundation underneath my eyes. That way we can kind of make everything look somewhat even again. I wanted to make sure that it wasn't the foundation and that it wasn't hanging onto my eyes weird, which it's not. I'm gonna go ahead and use this e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer, and this is in the color Deep Olive. I wonder if it'll do better with this because this is more hydrating. Right after I blend this out, I am gonna check to make sure nothing is hanging on super weird. I'm kind of glad that I'm using this one because this is a little bit more closer to my skin tone, so we can really see how much work the eye brightener is doing. Although, you know, this is gonna kind of correct, actually seeing what that brightening effect is. I still have that little patch right here, so I'm wondering if maybe it's just my skin, because I did mention to you guys that my skin has been a little bit drier. I love my sponge, but there's some things that a sponge just cannot reach underneath your eyes. I still have the same little patch. I'm just gonna kind of evaluate what my under eyes look like now versus what they look like. I'm gonna try to put it right underneath my eye maybe. It definitely did brighten. Visually, you guys can tell from this side of my face to this side of my face. It doesn't look weird underneath this eye. I am gonna blend it out a little bit. This eye actually looks really good underneath. It's not hanging on weird. Put the same amount underneath this eye, and I'm gonna place it the same way that I did. I'm wondering if it was just that concealer. When I'm reviewing a product, I try to use, if I have them, other products from that line, because in my opinion, when a brand makes a line of stuff, they're saying, hey, you know, like these 3 things are gonna get you the best look when they're combined together. I will be using translucent powder every day of this review because I want to see how this brightener does on its own without the help of a colored powder or without another brightening powder. I could have had a little bit of residue left from the first time I tried to get all of it, but I don't think I did. On the inner parts of my eye, the product is hanging on just a little bit on the inside. It doesn't look bad. It doesn't feel super heavy. That's what I was worried about. I was worried because I'd be layering product that it would feel heavy. I'm gonna finish my face and then come back to you guys and we'll chit chat. I don't know what's going on, but it just isn't very seamless. It's very splotchy. I'm just not the biggest fan. I kind of questioned, okay, maybe it's the concealer, but I really don't think it's the concealer because you have to keep in mind, I'm gonna make sure that I'm using concealers that I know that I like. So like that Fenty one, I've been using that one and I've really been liking the way that it's been looking. I use the Hydrating Camo, one of my favorites of all time, drugstore and high-end. It's still looking a little weird. And you can even tell from kind of far away, it's not very smooth looking. Oh yeah, you can really see right here. On the inner corner of my eye, right through here, yeah, not seamless. It's already sinking into my fine lines. I have never found a concealer that can get rid of my fine lines, but I almost feel like they're kind of being accentuated because I know that I said initially I didn't feel like it was very cakey. It doesn't feel cakey, but it kind of looks cakey. Currently it's 8:21. I started filming at like 8 o'clock. So I'm gonna keep this makeup on for at least 8 hours. I'm really curious to see what it looks like because usually my under eyes are the thing that kind of stay pretty much the same. I will see you guys tonight. Guys, it is currently 3:02, so I've had this makeup on for about 7 hours. I'll try to get some more progression pictures tomorrow, but I kind of just like want to hop from point A to point B, to be honest with you guys. Usually I do not expect any type of concealer or powder to completely get rid of my fine lines. I have a lot of creasing under my eyes naturally. I don't expect my concealers to get rid of any of that. However, I do expect concealers to not really hang onto those fine lines weird, to ball up, and this did exactly that. Oh my gosh, this is so much better. Okay, so sorry, I have my mirror sitting in front of me, that way I can have my camera flipped, but like look, all through in here, it balled up so weird. You can see my creases where the makeup is hanging on, and you can tell if your makeup is hanging on. If you pull, the makeup is, you see there's no makeup in between that indent? That means that it hung on to my fine lines. Same thing over here, especially right up here, right close to my eyelashes. It's balling up. These concealers right here, I know work. I'm gonna be testing 2 concealers each day. And luckily I have 2 eyeballs, so one can go underneath one and another can go underneath the other. I have never seen my concealer hang on this weird. And I think on top of that, I do want to do these eye brighteners by themselves because I know that's something you can do. I will see you guys tomorrow. Good morning, welcome to day 2. It is very, very early in the morning. It is 5:15 a.m. I already went ahead and did my base, so I did my primer, set my primer, foundation, and a little bit of bronzer. The first concealer I'm gonna be using is this Morphe Fluidity Concealer. This is in the color C3.55. I also have these JUVIA'S Placed I Am Magic Concealers, and I have the colors 10 and 13. I like to mix these two, that's why I have 2 of them. We're gonna do one eye at a time. I made sure that my under eyes were not looking super weird or anything like that, and they're not. This one is a little bit drier underneath than this one over here. I'm immediately gonna go underneath my eye and blend it out because I really wanna make sure that my concealer is looking good before I put this brightener on. That way I know if it starts to look weird, it was the brightener. My under eye looks really, really good. It looks a lot better than it did yesterday. This is what Almond Butter 12 looks like. Now I may use it tomorrow depending on how the lighter shade does today. I don't want to speak too soon because I haven't put the brightener on, but yesterday when I wiped that makeup off and put more on, it looked weird, but it looks perfect right now. Now I'm going to take a sponge. I really want to focus the product right underneath my eye. I made sure that my under eye was really smooth before I put this concealer on, and I hope, I'm trying to make sure you guys can see, like you see where it's balling up, where it's hanging onto my creases. I really just think it's this eye brightener. Like the eye brightener had me questioning how much I really like that e.l.f. Camo Concealer. If it does bad again today, I honestly might not even try those other 2 concealers. I might just go ahead and try it on its own on day 3. I blended it out and it's still hanging on weird, so I'm gonna go ahead and set underneath my eye using the Haley's Beauty powder that I used yesterday. Now it did do a good job of actually brightening, and I could tell. The only reason I think the brightener won't do well on its own, and I think I mentioned this yesterday briefly, if you guys have watched my Tarte Shape Tape review, what I discovered in that video is some concealers, if you're using a concealer that is too light, all it's gonna do is make you look like you have raccoon eyes, because all you've done is brighten. You haven't concealed. So those blue undertones are still peeking through, but you have a bright under eye, so it looks really weird. It's balling up right in here. I was gonna use this Juvia's Place, but I think the ultimate test, just in case I don't get to the concealers that I want to use tomorrow, I'll go ahead and swap out the Juvia's Place for this Too Faced Born This Way, because this is my favorite concealer of all time. I know this is a little random, but if I'm not doing eyeshadow that day, I always go ahead and bring my concealer up to my eyelid. This eye is a little bit more drier, and it was like that. I wanted to make sure that I noted that before, that way I could tell that it wasn't just the brightener's fault or the concealer's fault. It also scares me to use this on its own because it says that it's buildable, but maybe they just mean it's only buildable with itself. When I have used it with other products so far, it has not layered nicely on top of anything else. So that makes me really skeptical of how well it'll even layer on top of itself. Okay, now that eye actually looks better. And that's shocking because this eye is actually a little bit more textured underneath. The products that you use to pair with other products will sometimes determine how your product works. So this is what this eye is looking like. I really only see it balling up right in the very, very, very inner corner, versus over here you guys can see visibly right here where it has balled up. I'm gonna go ahead, finish my face, and then I will be back. I went ahead and did my face, just basically did the same thing that I did yesterday, brows and a little bit of blush. The exact same thing happened to me today that it did yesterday. So as soon as I turned the camera off to do the rest of my face, it's almost like when I was looking at my under eyes, it was starting to look worse. I don't know if it already looked worse and I just didn't notice, or if it actually was getting worse with time. I'm gonna go ahead and wear it today. I was gonna use these two concealers tomorrow, but I really don't think it's gonna do me any good. It already doesn't work very well with 3 of my favorite products. So I'm not going to assume that it's gonna work, that these two are gonna be any different, because probability wise, the odds are not in my favor. Tomorrow, I'm gonna use them by themselves is what I've decided. Some products don't like other products, but if you're a product and you can't work with multiple of my favorite products, there's no point in me keeping you. I also wanted to mention yesterday, I thought it was the mask because, you know, when you wear a mask, it covers to right about here, but it doesn't really look bad in here. It looks bad all the way up here. I will see you guys when I'm ready to take this off. Guys, welcome to what is supposed to be day 3. We're here to wrap this video up because I am over it. I went ahead and tried these again on their own, and I decided not to film it because honestly, I'm just very irritated with this. I'm just gonna be really blunt and keep it plain and simple for you guys. For me trying these on their own, you are just better off using a concealer. You're gonna get more coverage with the concealer. I really felt like these did not give me a whole bunch of coverage. I'll go ahead and put a picture. I took a picture of with one of my eyes with no eye brightener under it and the other with, and there really was not that big of a difference. If you're looking for something that is gonna be a little bit lighter coverage than a concealer is, I would use this underneath your eyes, and that's kind of like the vibe I'm getting. I feel like the main difference between the concealer and the eye brightener is that the eye brightener has a little bit less coverage. Now, it didn't cake up on its own. It just really did not have a lot of coverage. I will tell you guys over and over, I would rather have a really full coverage under eye and then like a more light makeup on the rest of the face, because if anything, I want to look awake. But I would not recommend using these in conjunction with other concealers. From what I've tried, Fenty is really one of those brands that is a hit or miss. I love some of their complexion products and I hate some of their complexion products. I really like their brow pencil. I'm gonna rate these like a 4 out of 10. I really feel like these did not do anything extraordinary. That's my overall thought. I need to return these so I can get my money back because these were not cheap. If you guys like this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. I do have a whole playlist full of review videos that I will leave right up here for you guys. If you guys have tried these, let me know what you think. Let me know what type of skin you have, oily, dry, and let me know if you were using it with another product and how that worked, or if you used it on its own, how it worked. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.